Welcome back to TYT Sports with Francis, Lauren, and Jason. John Oliver took to his great HBO show, which airs on Sundays last week tonight, to rip into daily fantasy sports, but one he calls more addicting than doing cocaine off of your phone, because the world is playing daily fantasy sports. So much so that you can't go, as he mentions in his long 20-minute rant, which we cut up for this clip, every 90 seconds. There's a daily fantasy sports commercial via DraftKings or FanDuel on TV.
Wow.
Yeah. That trumps beer. That trumps car commercials.
Does it really?
Yeah, for at least in the United States. It trumps beer commercials. Yep. It trumps car commercials.
Wow.
It trumps everything else. You can't escape it. It's in Times Square.
Here's the problem, though, too, is that they're also saying on these commercials, like, oh, I won $750,000 or I did this. That's like the top 1% of the 1% on these.
Yes.
Exactly. It's like, it's not an accurate portrayal of what these people are actually making. Like, there's so many people on these sites that to actually make real money, you got to be in the top 1%er.
Well,
so
I guess
it's a little misleading.
That's right.
Lauren, I should say that you missed the new commercial for daily fantasy sports.
Oh, did I?
Daily fantasy is the hottest new way to make real money.
As soon as I tried DraftKings, I was hooked.
I've been using FanDuel since I saw those commercials on TV all the time.
I turned $35 into $2 million into $40 into $0 on FanDuel.
Daily fantasy is the best. I get to play every day.
You mean you get to gamble?
It's not gambling.
Oh, it's definitely gambling. You have a massive gambling problem.
It's actually a skills-based game that is going to make us rich one day.
You're an idiot.
I'm a winner.
With daily fantasy, anyone can win.
I've won $784,000 on FanDuel.
See? You can compete against millions of regular sports fans just like you.
I have a master's degree in statistics and have designed an advanced algorithm that incorporates real-time weather condition updates and can calculate an earned run average to the 20th decimal point. Hey, Jocks, how does it feel to be a nerd's bitch?
Daily fantasy sports is the only skills-based entertainment product where you can win big money.
You're a winner?
I'm a winner.
How the f are you a winner?
How the f am I a winner? I'll tell you how the f I'm a winner. I won $6.18 playing daily fantasy. That's how the f I'm a winner.
You spent $1,200.
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to spend money to make money.
To make $6.18, you spent $1,200.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I don't understand you.
It's because you don't understand sports, sweetie.
I understand math.
Don't listen to the critics. Daily fantasy is a legitimate business.
Daily fantasy has the support of the NFL. When have they ever been associated with anything shady?
So good. It's so good. That's because you don't understand sports. I understand math. That's the best.
It's true, though, but Conan O'Brien, who has a late-night show, also TBS, I think it is, did a different style daily fantasy sports commercial, which also deserves some attention.
Everyone's talking about SpendKings.com, the easiest way to spend money online.
Spending money is so easy with SpendKings.com. You just log in and pick the amount you want to spend.
With SpendKings, you can spend $1, $100, or all of your dollars. It's up to you. Just log in to SpendKings.com, enter your credit card information, and choose the amount you want to spend.
Just click and spend. If you want to spend more, you just click again.
SpendKings is really flexible. It's up to me how much I want to spend.
You can even use a relative's bank account if you get them to give you the info.
Join now and enter the promo code RAMEN, and we'll double the amount you spend.
I entered the promo code, and SpendKings took twice the amount I wanted to spend. It was really exciting.
This week I spent $75. Is that good?
It's great. You're a Spend King.
But what do I get for the money I spent?
You're a winner. You won. You're a Spend King.
Okay, sweet.
Once a week, we'll randomly select one lucky Spend King to spend $1 million. Yes! SpendKings.com. The more you spend, the more you spend.
I'm a Spend King. I'm a Spend King.
That was awesome. Man. That was so awesome. It's amazing that they've created these websites where people are just so excited about it. That's what happens. And it's so true because they're not getting a lot of this money back.
Okay, but that's what's amazing. But it's the most amazing thing about this whole thing is how gambling is still illegal majority, like is an institute in this country. Apart from, I understand, Native American land and you have the ability to gamble
the government's
online,
missing out.
And you have the ability to go to Vegas and gamble. But in where I come from, you have bookies on every single corner. We are so vocal about the fact is that you can spend and lose as much money as you want on sports. But this country is adamant that you don't have the ability to do that. But online, you can do so freely when you're being misled which is like some people do win, but the majority of money that those guys have probably spent to win that, something more often than not will be like you just mentioned, like in Vegas, you might win $1,000 that.
Are you
one
using
time.
me primarily as an
I'm
example?
using Jason Rhodes as a sample size, but more
Did
often
you
than
lose
not.
a lot of money in
Also
Vegas?
won a lot of money and then lost a lot of money.
Exactly.
That's how
It's
it usually goes.
It's not the facade of you just won. Like there's a line where in your own head that you create where you think's winning. I'm up 200, but I spent 600 last week. So but I'm still up.
But
still
you're up.
200
But
this
you're
week.
winning because you're a winner. You're a spend king.
You're a spin king
So
winner.
there's two things that I loved about he went on a 20-minute rant about daily fantasy sports, and John Oliver did, and made a lot of very good points. For one, the legislation that was put into place in 2005 was basically what happened was, if you remember, it wasn't PokerStars, it was Bodog with online gambling. It was like a poker client you can download, and it was considered gambling because it is. There was a new legislation put in place which exempted fantasy sports as part of that loophole because there was no daily fantasy sports yet. It was just that thing you do in the office with your friends, or if you.
That's crazy. How do you make that distinction? That's so random, I feel like.
Because it wasn't, and they also obviously couldn't foresee that it would grow two different.
But see, then it's not about a moral or an ethical standpoint. It's about, oh, now you're making money. Oh, whoops, we messed up.
I don't think the legislation understands how much offshore gambling takes place.
Absolutely.
Like, speaking for myself here.
Oh my goodness!
Like,
you gamble?
You guys!
You can.
We found them.
The amount of online gambling that takes place that isn't. Look, you can tax it in our country if you wanted to. There's ways to actually make use of it, and I understand one of the major reasons as to a lot.
I mean, we have a massive debt. That would be something that would actually help us in this country.
There's a lot
By
of things
taking
we
money
can
from
do,
the people that are supposed to be fixing that. Good job, Lauren.
Look,
Let's
the long
take
story
money
short.
from the people.
Hold on. The long story short is that the question was, is this gambling?
100%
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
Oh, no
There's
doubt.
absolutely zero question. But I honestly don't see the problem with it either. Like you were saying, it is a skill-based game. It is something, as long as people know what they're getting into. It's not like anyone's duping them. You may lose your money here. They're fully well aware of what they're getting themselves into. What's the problem?
The best was ex Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Montana, who had we can throw to the video, but he basically said he didn't know what daily fantasy sports was. So they asked Joe Montana, "Is this gambling?" And he said, "Do you pay something to enter?" They go, "Yes." Do you win something if you stand out? Yes, it's gambling. It's that simple.
All right, well, I found it. Now, the answer to everything, all the problems in this country is you just need to have a minimum income of $100,000 a year to enter into daily fantasy, and then we'll just take all the money from the rich. The main point is, this is gambling. Gambling in this country is considered to be illegal based on state by state. I understand that. And I'm not even going to get into it.
It becomes up to the state.
Well, exactly. It becomes up to the state. I'm not even going to get into it because it's just so mind-boggling. There shouldn't be a discussion. If you're going to allow it online, gambling should be legal. That is it. And I don't care about your pros and cons for it.
Wait, if you're going to allow it online, it should be
allowed.
Legal. Yeah,
it
legal.
Should be
okay, I thought you said
anywhere.
illegal.
No,
Okay.
it should be. If you're going to make it illegal, then it shouldn't be allowed online.
Right,
It's ridiculously hypocritical of every major news outlet and sports outlet, like ESPN, like even us, how we talk about it. Every single person, when you go to the website, the first thing front and center is fantasy and games on Yahoo, on ESPN, on Deadspin. Every outlet has daily fantasy lineup of the day. Everything. Okay.
Here's the question
it attracts the people. Make it fucking legal.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that if everybody seems to want to do it, they all know what they're getting themselves into. What's the problem? But my thing is too is that what differentiation is this from even the lottery? Like some little grandma's like on her way home from working at whatever, she buys a lottery ticket and she can she can win. It's like that's also gambling. We're not gonna but the government taxes that, and so they're all cool with it.
When I was gonna go and watch football games like this, it's a ritual back home. As you wake up on a Saturday morning, you go to the bookies, you put on your bet, and you just watch the games. And it does make it more fun. And trust me, I understand that gambling is an addiction. Before people go crazy in this, we don't want to promote gambling addiction. Well, just because you don't promote it on the streets doesn't mean the guy can't go online and bet all his money on FanDuel and lose it all as well. It's the same thing.
The thing is that you can say that about anything in life. You could say, people like to drink, but don't be an alcoholic. You can, there's so many other things.
If I'm correct, DraftKings is in Boston, FanDuel is in New York. They both just built 20,000 square foot plus offices.
That's because
the
they're
other
making so much money.
You can't lose money. If you have this system in place, it's amazing to me that I didn't create this, and I'm very mad at that. And when you look at the CEOs of these companies, they're like 20-year-old boys.
Yeah. Well, all the companies in the UK,
I'm a 20-year-old boy at the same time, so.
Ladbrokes, Bet365, all these guys in the UK who run the stores are just sitting there like this. Come on, just make it legal. Just make it legal so that they can just branch out and they can maybe get the American fan base and start putting some stores on the streets. I would just want to ask this bold question. Is fantasy football gambling? Is it or fantasy
Not just
sports?
fantasy
I think we
sports.
covered that. I think
No,
that's.
I want to ask the commentators. I want to ask it because I really want to see this. I really want to see the excuses being made, but I'm interested to see it. So, do you think it's gambling? Do you think it should be made legal throughout? And let us know what your favourite fantasy football commercial is, because it's everywhere at the moment.